6, 7, 8.
All right, we are back, and welcome to the M.A.D podcast, episode 4. But now we're here to talk about a really special project that we've started with Mrs. Shaughnessy's class, and it's called Walking the Path. So the Walking the Path project is a 12-week journey that we are going to be taking as a class, and with our native resource teacher to learn more about the Anishinaabe culture and to make us all more aware. The more aware that we are, the more questions we'll ask, and the more we'll learn and respect and move forward. So on Tuesday, Bob Baxter came to our school, and it was a gift. He shared his gift of story with us. So we sketch noted to help us remember all of the steps in our journey. Would anyone like to share what we did first? Okay, go ahead, Maria.
First, we all got together in Mrs. Shaughnessy's room. We sat in a circle, and then we passed around a rock, a very special rock, and introduced ourselves.
Okay, thanks. And that's exactly what we did. Did anybody get anything from that? There's a difference between just doing and going through the motions and actually getting something from the whole process. Daphne, what did you get?
Well, what I understood from passing around the rock is it's symbolizing like power and respect to the person that has the rock. They have the power to speak, and they were given respect.
What about the circle? I think I heard a few people talking about the symbolism or the meaning behind the circle to them. For me, I think of the circle, okay, I wear a wedding ring, and it's also in the shape of a circle, and it means to me it's kind of a form of togetherness, but it's also everlasting. What does the circle mean to you? A few hands went up. Ty, did you have something to say about the circle or how you felt while you were sitting in the circle?
I felt safe.
Tanner, how did you feel?
I felt welcome.
Safe and welcomed. Okay, thank you. All right. What happened next? Thanks, Avonlea.
So after we went around and all set an inch with the rock, then they smudged. Yeah.
Now, what's smudging? Because guaranteed, there might be some people listening who have never smudged before, don't know what smudging is. In fact, I didn't know what smudging was, quite honestly, until maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Raven, do you want to share what smudging means to you?
Smudging is like getting all the bad energy out and bringing in good energy.
Okay, and what do we use to smudge? What is smudging? I think people need to understand that as well. They think if nobody has ever smudged before, okay, so Raven shared with us what smudging means to her, but what does it look like? What is it? Okay, Daphne?
Well, when you're smudging sage, because sage, it's getting, like Raven said, all of the bad energy and all your bad thoughts out, and giving room for all that new energy and the feelings to come in.
Okay, does anyone have anything to add to that? Has anybody ever smudged other than outside of our school where we smudged yesterday? Has anybody ever smudged before that? My hand's going up, actually. Okay, I see quite a few hands. We all smudged together one more time before Tuesday. When also did we smudge? Hands are going up. Jordan, when did we smudge?
When we were on Mount M.A.D, we were learning about it, and she said we should smudge, and we smudged after. So we smudged on Mount M.A.D, like on top of it.
And, Mount McKay is in our backyard. We can see Mount McKay from our window. And I see actually a number of people, and even Jordan kind of went, ooh, she caught herself now. Because we went down that path, and we now know Mount McKay as an M.K.W.A.D. Okay, and that was a whole different learning journey that we took with our native elder, Laura, and Gail Bannon. All right, so we smudged. Then what? What happened next? What did we do next with Bob? Maria, what did we do next?
After we smudged, someone passed around some tobacco, and we all held it in our left hand, closest to our heart, and prayed.
Okay. Anybody want to share what they got from that experience about holding the tobacco and praying? Quite honestly, I've never held tobacco before and prayed. What did it mean to you, or did you get anything from that? Robbie?
When I held the tobacco in my hand and said the prayer with Bob Baxter, I felt like all my emotions were releasing from my body, and it just felt better.
Did anybody have a similar experience? Patricia, you're looking like you're saying yes, just with your eyes. How did you feel, Patricia?
I felt like I was calm, and I didn't feel what I felt like mad or anything.
Thanks, Patricia. And we sat in that circle with Bob for about an hour and a half, and I felt calm pretty much the whole time. All right, what happened next? I'm going to go to Mitchell.
After we prayed and held the tobacco in our hands, we had a little bit of a snack. So we had strawberries. That is something that Native Indigenous people ate when they went out to go pick it and to harvest it. And then we had some water that also the Indigenous people drank.
And and that's exactly what we did. But I'll tell you, when I ate that strawberry, I never tasted a strawberry that tasted so good. And I think, what did Bob tell us to do? Or he didn't tell us to do anything, but he suggested, how should we eat? Do you remember? Daphne? One thing that I took is I don't do this. He suggested, yes, Avonlea? Or what were you going to say? Maybe it's something completely different.
Well, I'm not sure if he said this, but what I got from it was it was when before I was kind of hungry, and then after the strawberry and the water, I wasn't hungry anymore, and it was kind of weird because usually I have to when you eat a strawberry, one single strawberry, you're still kind of hungry after it, but it was like the strawberry just completely filled me up.
Yeah.
I found because I actually ate it slow. I think I took 5 bites to eat that strawberry. And because I was eating it slowly, I was truly appreciating it. And I think Bob wanted us to learn more than just about eating a strawberry. I think he challenged me to remember to slow down kind of in everything that I do and to appreciate the moment. Okay. After our snack of the strawberry and water, what happened next? Do you remember what happened next? Looking for Max, do you remember what happened next?
I believe it was either the eagle feather or the drum.
Okay. I think, and the sketch notes really helped us. Who thinks it was the eagle feather? I think there's consensus there. So what did you get from Bob's story about the eagle feather, or what did he tell us about the eagle feather? Aiden, did you have a bit of a light bulb there? What did
When an eagle drops his feather to somebody, and I think he said that it is meant for the person that it drops by, or if you find one, you can either pick it up or leave it alone.
Absolutely, that's exactly what he said. And Bob, I think, did he find the eagle feather, or was it gifted to him?
Gifted to him.
It was gifted to him, and it's very special to him. There is some symbolism behind the eagle feather as well. Did anybody get that symbolism? Daphne, what was the symbolism there?
Well, I felt like it symbolized maybe like protection. Like, because an eagle is a very sacred animal and it's very majestic, so I feel like when it drops a feather, like, you were chosen and you were given like the protection from the eagle.
Okay, let's move on. So we're continuing down that path. What happened next with Bob? What did he share with us? And I think Max already kind of alluded to this. Do you remember what happened next, Jackson?
He talked about how he went to this man to get his spirit animal, and he got wolf, and he was searching for it for years. But one time when he was driving on the highway, he found this black wolf that went in front of his car, and later on he also found a white wolf who ran along the car.
And when he saw the black, that story, you could hear a pin drop in the room. When he first saw the black wolf, what happened? Tanner?
He felt like he felt like really light first, like for a bit. Then he was starting to like tear up, like he felt all the tears drooping down.
And why do you think he started to tear up and feel light? What was going on there, Tanner?
Like the wolf was like taking like all the like stress and like the bad stuff out of him, and like yeah, that's all.
Okay, and then who did he go to see? Who did he visit? Daphne?
I think his mother.
He visited his mom. Okay. Then he was driving back, and this is crazy. I mean, it's funny because I was making connection too, because the wolf is my favorite animal, and I've seen a wolf 3 times in my life. On the way back, like Tanner says, he sees a white wolf. And what happened then? Somebody different? Okay. Let's go with Avonlea, Daphne, or Maria after. If you need to or want to add, you can.
So when he was on his way back, he saw a white wolf, and he felt like the same feeling. And then, but this time when he was driving, the white wolf was like running beside his car, and then, and it was like, and then he stopped and then like went in front of his car, and he was like walking, and then it went to the passenger side of his car, and he said that like after he thought that the white wolf was there to like give him like positive like feelings and stuff, because the black wolf took away the negative feelings, and then the white wolf gave him positive feelings after that.
And so the connection I was making is Bob really seemed to me like a very contented man, very happy, comfortable person. But what he said was, before he had that dramatic change in his life, he carried around a whole bunch of negative energy. Okay? He doesn't carry that negative energy anymore. He carries a lot of positive energy, and I feel that positive energy from Bob. But I think the message that he's trying to say is he wasted way too much time carrying so much negative energy around, and we have to look for ways to find the positive in life. We don't have to wait for a wolf to appear to do that for us. That's kind of just what I took from that. All right. And then finally, he shared the story of the drum. And then what was last? And we just kind of scratched the surface here. There wasn't a lot of time spent talking about this. Kai, do you remember?
He talked about the residential school and how he got picked up away from his mom and dad and got put into a residential school.
And how were you feeling at that time when Bob shared his story of I'm not even going to say going to residential school, being forced to go to residential school? I just picture him on his trap line with his family, a plane swooping in, and who was saying, you really gave me a good visualization of, was it Ty who was saying, like, what was he doing just before he left, Ty?
He was holding on to his mom, and I think he was saying, like, yelling out "mom" or something.
And Bob has told us as well that during our journey down that path, we're going to learn more about residential schools. And I'm glad that we also took the path with Oliman when we were listening to the story Fatty Legs as well, because Oliman also went to residential school. But what was the difference between Bob and Oliman? Mitch?
Bob, like, Oliman, like, the person who wrote the book actually told, like, what it happens when you actually go to a residential school, and Bob just told us that he went to a residential school and that the things that he did, but he didn't, like, tell us that he ate weird, like, porridge and had, like, weird shoes to wear and had to wear a suit, like, all that type of stuff.
We just know that he went.
Yeah.
Whereas we also know about residential schools from Oliman's experience. What else, if we're comparing and contrasting? Kaya?
Oliman wanted to go to the residential school and Bob didn't.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, we ended with a prayer. And that was our journey. Does anybody have, and I know actually upon reflecting on the whole journey, it helped us remember all of the different points that we came to as we traveled with Bob down his path. Does anyone have a takeaway that they'd like to share from Bob's story? In other words, through Bob's story, how did he make a difference for you in your life? Okay, we're going to start with Avonlea, and then we'll go to Maria, and then Kaya, and anybody else who'd like to share.
So my takeaway was now I feel like a lot more open-minded for different types of cultures, and like I feel like if I see or if like someone tells me that, I'll kind of understand it a little bit more, and I won't be like, whoa, that's totally new. And I'll kind of like want to learn more and not just like, oh, okay, and then walk away. So, yeah.
Thanks, Avonlea. Maria.
I kind of learned to like appreciate everything. I knew that I did have to appreciate everything, but like all his stories just made me realize that I really do have a lot that some people didn't have. Like I'm happy that I can go to school and get a proper education, but I can also stay home and be with my family. I know that I might have fights with them, but I really have to appreciate. You have to appreciate what you have.
Thanks, Maria. Kaya.
Mine is kind of like Maria's. Never take the things you have for granted, because other people might not have them.
And I think about Bob and Bob's father, who lost all of his ability to practice his culture. All of the things, all of the items that were placed in front of us in that circle were taken away from the Anishinaabe people. And I'm so happy that they now have all of those things back to share with us, because I know that Bob's story has made a difference for me too. So looking forward to day 2 of our journey. And thank you, boys and girls, for sharing. Okay. And I think maybe we should say thanks to Bob. Go ahead.
Thank you, Bob.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na.